You're sitting in the passenger seat, the engine is off, the date night is over. You look over at him, and he's just staring at his phone, scrolling mindlessly. The silence in the car is heavy. And suddenly, you realize you feel completely alone, even though he is right there next to you. Your mind starts racing. Why does this keep happening? Is this just what long-term relationships feel like? Does he even care anymore? Am I asking for too much? Here is the bold truth mainstream relationship culture won't tell you. He doesn't pull away because he stopped loving you, and you don't drift apart because you stopped caring. You drift apart because his nervous system stopped feeling safe enough to let you in. You are not failing at love. This is not a sign that you chose the wrong person. Every couple that has ever loved each other has stood exactly where you are standing right now. By the end of this video, you will understand the exact psychological triggers that make a man feel deeply, securely, and permanently attached to you. You will know how to cultivate that bond without losing yourself or chasing him. Let's get into it. Most couples believe that a man gets emotionally attached through grand romantic gestures, constant validation, or a woman molding herself to be the perfect partner. But the real truth is, a man's emotional attachment is rooted entirely in his nervous system's experience of safety and autonomy with you. When safety leaves a relationship, the love doesn't disappear, it goes underground. Emotional distance in a relationship isn't like a wall. It's like scar tissue that forms slowly over 100 small moments that never got repaired. What looks like him being distant or withdrawn is usually a man who has been so overwhelmed by the unspoken expectation to fix your emotions that silence is the only protection he has left. His nervous system is reading your emotional temperature before his mind can even catch up. If he feels he is constantly being evaluated, his attachment system shuts down. But when he feels he can just be without performing, that is when the deepest bonds are forged. This isn't about playing games. It is about understanding the anxious avoidance cycles and how true emotional availability is sparked not by pursuit, but by profound, grounded presence. Let's start with the first shift, which is the sanctuary effect. Most couples believe that keeping a man attached requires constant effort, planning, and artificially keeping the spark alive. But beneath the surface, a man's nervous system is craving a refuge from the world's relentless demands. He attaches to the woman who regulates her own emotions, making him feel that being with her is a relief, not another job. The disconnecting version sounds like you asking, "Why are you so quiet?" which he hears as you saying he is failing at making you happy. The connecting version sounds like you sitting beside him, gently touching his arm, and saying, "Rough day? I'm right here." This isn't a communication hack. This is just what two emotionally mature people naturally do. And when you do that, the walls between you start to come down without either of you having to say a word. Then there's the second shift, the autonomy anchor. Most people in relationships think that true closeness means doing everything together and sharing every single thought. Here's the part no one talks about. Male attachment thrives on the paradox of closeness and space. He feels most connected to the woman who has her own vibrant life because it signals that she chooses him. She doesn't need him to survive. The disconnecting version sounds like telling him, "If you loved me, you'd cancel your guys' night to stay with me." The connecting version sounds like telling him to have a great time with the guys while you enjoy your book tonight. Something in him is quietly saying, "She doesn't need me to fix this. She just needs me to stay." That's the shift that turns a relationship that feels like a negotiation into one that feels like a refuge. The third shift is the competence mirror. Most couples fall into the trap where the woman manages everything, inadvertently sending the message that he is incapable. But here's what nobody explains. A man's deepest emotional longing is to feel useful and respected by his partner. When you mirror his competence, his nervous system registers that he is valued here. The disconnecting version sounds like you sighing and saying, "Just let me do it because you're taking too long." The connecting version sounds like you telling him, you really appreciate how he handled that, and it made your day so much easier. That's when your partner stops feeling like a problem to manage and starts feeling like a person to come home to. Next is the fourth shift, the unspoken acceptance. Most people in relationships try to change their partner's flaws, believing that tough love will make them better. Honestly, trying to fix him only triggers his defense mechanisms. He gets emotionally attached to the woman who sees his shadows and doesn't flinch. What's moving through him in those moments is the thought that he finally found someone who actually gets him. The disconnecting version sounds like telling him he needs to be more ambitious because he's wasting his potential. The connecting version sounds like telling him you love the passion he has for his hobbies, even if it's not his career. And here's what changes everything. When he feels accepted, he naturally wants to become the best version of himself for you. Finally, we have the fifth shift, the emotional resonance. Most couples believe that deep attachment is built through endless, heavy conversations about the relationship. Not louder conversations, not more compromising, not scheduling a weekly check-in, but two people who actually feel safe enough to be honest with each other for the first time in years. Intimacy isn't built in the big moments, it's built in the 30-second ones. He attaches to the woman who can share a light, playful moment that instantly dissolves tension, signaling that the relationship is a source of joy, not just work. The disconnecting version sounds like bringing up a past argument while he's trying to relax. The connecting version sounds like catching his eye across the room and giving him a genuine, warm smile that says you're glad it's him. That's the shift that makes him realize, without a shadow of a doubt, that he never wants to lose what you two have built. This isn't a checklist, it's an invitation to show up differently. When you internalize this, you stop reacting and start responding. These aren't tips for a better relationship, they're the beginning of becoming the kind of partner you always wanted someone to be for you. A man doesn't stay because you hold on tight, he stays because you built a home he never wants to leave.